good evening, and welcome to tonight's session of the How To series. Yep, I'm having a lot of internet challenges, so I've not been able to start out early as I'd want. Thank you all for joining live. I believe you're able to join live on YouTube and on Facebook, getting to perfect the systems more and more. Tonight, we'll be talking about how to gain clarity so that you would be able to execute whatever project, execute things in your life with great speed. Whatever you want to do, you want to be able to execute it with great speed. Um, in the next few minutes, I'll just talk quickly about that, and boom, we'll be out of your faces. Okay, so how do you gain clarity, or what is clarity in the first place? Clarity has to do with being clear, in the most literal terms, being clear, being able to see, being able to tell a story about what you want to do, being able to convince yourself and anyone about the place you're traveling to, about the clarity of your idea, the transparency of your idea, the ability for people to see through your idea, be able to relate with your idea. Yes? So, what then is clarity? Clarity is having being clear, is having this absolute clear mind, clear thoughts, clear understanding about what you're trying to do. And how do you gain clarity? You gain clarity through meditation and by experience. Those are two core ways you gain clarity: by meditation and by experience. By meditation, I mean you sitting down and thinking, brainstorming, going through everything that is going on in your life and making sense of it. Clarity talks about being having a clear mind. It's just about being clear in the truest sense of it. It's just about being at peace, inner peace with yourself. It's all about being having this mental frame that you have everything together, that you got it together, that you're traveling somewhere, that you're able to move from point A to point B. And how does that come? Literally, in the most literal sense of it, anyone should be able to process this even on their own. It comes by thinking, 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 meditative kind of thinking, where you sit down, you think through an idea, you think through issues, you think through possibilities of what you're doing, to get clear on the next moves you'll be taking, to get certainty about the direction you'll be taking, moving from point A to point B, moving from a place of chaos or a place of not having results to a place of results and to a place you'd want to be, right? So how do you get clear? Through meditative thinking. Simple. Number one thing you want to do is to seclude yourself, get away from people, get away from the crowd, get away from social media, get away from everything, get away from all the voices that might be coming to your head. You want to be able to sit down on your own in a private space to think. So number one, you need to seclude yourself. Seclude yourself, get free from people, get away from the noise, get away from everything that could pose a distraction. Number two thing you want to do is to as you're getting away, you want to schedule out time, maybe a full day, maybe half day, that you would use to get clear on what you want to do, where you want to go, how you want to get there, why you want to get there, and with what vehicle or what means you're going to get there. You understand? So you need a full day, maybe sometimes 3 days, 5 days, I don't know, whatever the context or size of the problem you're trying to solve, or the size of the issue you're trying to get past. You need quite a while to do that. So you schedule a time. Sometimes you can go 3 days, 4 days, but I'd advise that your clarity sessions, that's when you want to sit down and get clear, should be often repeated, once, twice, thrice a month, or 3 times a year, depending. It's more or less like what Christians would call a retreat, but it's not necessarily a retreat, because it may have to do more with your career, your job, or whatever you're doing, or project, or your business, so to say, right? Next thing is that you have to have a pen and a paper. You really want to have less of the digital, but if you wish, you can have a digital a recording device, something you can type on, something you can record into, whatever works best for you. But as much as possible, get away from the internet. Don't use apps that have access to the internet. Don't want communication. What you want is ability to document what is in your mind. When you write, you can filter. Oftentimes it's best with pen and paper because you can easily just cancel, scribble, and all of that, but you can still use digital devices. And then the next is that you have to be in the best mental frame and physical frame to do it. Mental frame, talking about not having issues or intentionally turning off issues that you may have, prior issues, just so that you can focus on getting clear on where you want to go to and what you want to do. You get, so you want to tone down on other issues that you might be facing, and then get into the mood of, okay, what I'm trying to do now is process. What I'm trying to do right now is process issues, process challenges, process much data, and make sense out of it. You have to put yourself in that mental frame. And then physical frame might be your environment. You may not want to be in a noisy place. You want to be in a private place, alone as much as possible. And also be full, eat well, don't eat too much, don't eat too small. You get, have the perfect frame, be like you're trying to get work done, but then the work you're trying to get done is to get clear, put things in place in your mind, organize your mind again. All right, so at the beginning I said there are two ways to get clear. You have clarity by meditation, and then there's clarity by experience. Clarity by meditation, clarity by experience. Why I say so is that sometimes people think clarity is all about secluding and working. That's one dimension to it. The second dimension to it is about experience. When you do what you said you will do, what you thought you were absolutely clear about, the experience might now let you know that you were not really so clear. You find more variables coming into the equation, things you forgot to consider. Many things will just come up. Therefore, the experience creates even further clarity. You get, you wanted to do A, B, C, D. The experiences you now have tells you that, oh, A does not work as you thought. B does not work as planned. C did not even occur as you ever imagined, right? So those things that you were clear on would need you to get clear one more time, because the experience is quite different from the assumptions you had when you were thinking. So how do you get clear by experience? You literally do what you said you will do, right, and see the outcomes. Then you take those outcomes and process them during your clarity sessions. You get, we already talked about clarity sessions, right, where you separate yourself, give yourself a time frame, get your pen and paper, and get yourself in a mental frame and think meditatively, think creatively, think trying to solve problems, think trying to tell a story, right? So when you have an experience, when you gather your experiences from field of doing the things that you previously were clear about, you take them to your clarity sessions, process them one more time, and then the outcomes, here are outcomes you basically get from getting clear. Number one is that you know your next moves, probably your next 5 moves, your next 10 moves, your next 15 moves that you want to make in life or in business or in whatever thing you are doing. Every clarity session should come out with clear-cut moves. It should come out with decisions to go left or right, things that you were not certain of. Oh, do I set up my business as a limited liability company or as an NGO, or how do I process it? Do I take it this way or this way? Do I do this or that? Those sessions of absolute silence helps you process them and get value for yourself. Of course, you would engage people, have solid advice come from other people to tell you what best to do next, but after all of the experiences, you go back and then you process issues one more time and you get clear and say, okay, for the next 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 10 years, 5 years, this is what I'm going to be doing, and then you proceed. After a while, a month, 2, 3, sit down again, get clear one more time. All right. And finally, okay, I'm having a notification here. So, and finally, the third thing you get is roadmaps of what you want to do, which is more or less like your next moves, right? A roadmap here to here to here to here. This is what I'm going to do next, this, next, this. So it's the same thing. Decisions, next moves, roadmaps. Those are typical things you get from a clarity session, right? So how do you get clear? Two ways: by meditation and by experience. Experience helps you build on your meditation. The experiences you get, you take them back to your meditation kind of clarity session, and then process them during your clarity sessions. Perfect clarity sessions have private thinking time, secluded spaces, dates, and period assigned to it, a pen and a paper, and good environment, both mentally and physically, and as well as actual thinking process, the actual thinking process of what, why, when, how, who, and all those kind of questions. You just take your time and process issues. The goal is to come out with your next 5, 10, 15 moves and decisions for the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months, or 10 months, 20 months, 30 months, 50 months, right?